So we were looking at the AM Cup standings, where it's Nigel Wood versus Rick Binnersley versus Colin Barker. Rick and Nigel overtook Colin Barker in the last few races, and thus the battle is still on. Nigel and Rick can still win this championship. Colin might be in for a very off chance to still take it as well. So that's a battle that we still have to watch out for in these races. And then on the right side we have the Ironman Championship, where we look for consistency starting and finishing the races, and there it's the same two guys, Nigel Wood and Rick Binnersley, in 10th and 14th on that list. We have started and finished all 14 races so far, so if they make it to the end of this this race weekend, these two races, then they will both be crowned Ironman champions of season 36. Then moving on to the circuit of today, the very well-known Grand Prix, Formula 1 Grand Prix circuit of Sepang, with the two back straights, very long back straights. The very difficult last corner to get your braking point and your turn-in point right, but also turns 1 and 2 very technical, very tricky in these cars. And make your way down to braking for Langkawi curve, also a passing opportunity, then through the left-right combination, and a on the edge double right-hander of the Clea curve. Then we make our way down to the hairpin, uphill hairpin, and back down to Kenyer Lake corner. Through the S's once again, and then the hardest braking zone of the calendar, maybe Sunway Lagoon corner, to set yourself up for the final back straight. Due to our intermezzo that the drivers have already started their qualifying laps, but no times in yet. Just to have a quick note, we still have our Nürburgring Langstreckenserie running, a monthly endurance race that is always hosted at the Nordschleife with 3 classes on the track. So if you fancy any of that, just head on over to rrleagues.com and you will get racing with us very, very soon. So here we are with our drivers. We have currently 30 drivers on the server. Voila. And it's Magnus Smedegaard who is out first, and of course setting a purple lap time. Magnus Smedegaard with a 31.8 in the first sector. Here's that double apex right-hander. As you see, Magnus throwing his Lynk & Co Volvo in. I think he has Mike Stoffmail right behind. No, it's Simon Fillingham in the Audi, sorry. So Smedegaard, the 1:19.4 in the second sector. We'll have to see what kind of benchmark time he sets here when he makes his way down to the start-finish straight. Firstly, he has to get the braking point for this last corner correctly. Goes for a late apex on the power as early as he can and track out all the way over to the right, over the curbs. As we have Janko Glavac sitting out this qualifying session with a penalty, and it's a 2:13.7 for Smedegaard, Fillingham trailing 1.2 seconds behind. And now the times are slowly coming in. Mukonin goes faster to 13.5. Let's have a quick look with Mike Stoffmail. He's setting purple sectors as well. Our champion in this series. As you can see, very hard braking zone here to set yourself up for the final back straight. Mukonin, Smedegaard, Lukas is our current top three. Stoffmeel taking a lot shallower line here, a lot tighter line through the last corner. Let's see what kind of time he puts in. It's a 2:12.9, so 6 tenths clear of Pavel Mukonin. Remember, Mukonin won race 1, if I'm not mistaken, at the Ningbo circuit, holding off Mike Stoffmeel and his teammate Christopher Strepe. So Mukonin has something, or has the skills to beat Mike if he can maybe get him in the qualifying session already. Meanwhile, we have David Dore in 7th position, improving on his own time. He's 1.9 seconds behind, so gaps are quite big here at the moment, but I'm sure that the quicker times will be coming in and everything will bunch up a bit. Of course, it's quite a long and technical lap, so some spread in the lap times is to be expected. It's this braking zone here, that tightening right-hander to set yourself up for the back straight. That is very, very crucial to a good lap here around Sepang. Can Dore improve? I think he will. He's half a second up on his own time, so he should be improving to around P5, behind or ahead of Robert Horvat. Across the line, and he goes 4th, quite a while ahead of Robert Horvat, even 8 tenths behind Mike Stoffmeel. Nuno Miguel Abreu, our pole king in the GT3 class, but here in the WTCR class, currently in 11th and coming into the pits. Thiago Matos then across the line, as we have 4 minutes still left on the clock, and well, as per race room standards, when the timer runs out, it's session over. So anyone not starting a lap now, or within 1 minute, let's say 1.5 minutes, is done and dusted. So even now, some people like Nuno Miguel Abreu doesn't have the time to do an out lap and then still a time lap, so he is already back in the pits. Michele. So here at the front, Stoffmeel and Mukonin still very, very close. Having a look at last lap times, 2:13.348 for Stoffmeel, a 2:13.396 for Mukonin. So nothing in it between these two. And let's see if we can have a race-long battle, as Colin Barker still entangled in a battle with O'Brien, Nazakawa, Oliveira, Naku, Bindersley, all covered by just a couple of tenths. Here's Nazakawa now going through on Barker, and he almost gets past, but Barker gets a better exit now through the S's, and now coming up on the difficult braking zone here to get onto the back straight. Everybody wants to get as good of an exit here as he can, as they get past Daniel O'Brien there on the right. He had a bad exit, loses 3 positions in the space of 1 straight. Oh, a late braking there in the background from João Oliveira. He gets past. Look at this battle here, and that's outside of the top 20 positions at the moment, but these guys are having great fun and good fair racing. Meanwhile, at the front, Dore dropping back just a little bit from the top group, and then we have Metcalf, Lukas, Fillingham in P6, Horvat in P7, Britton in P8, and Britton as well. He is on the gearbox of Robert Horvat. Let's have a quick look. It all looks very well behaved here, but if we look back here, this is a lot more hectic. Also fair, but this looks a lot more exciting here. Colin Barker really having his work cut out for him. It's now Felipe Nazakawa at the front of this pack. He is in P21. No, he's in P20, sorry. And they're dropping back now from Nigel Wood. And at the back of this group here is Rick Binnersley. And he has Nigel Wood ever so slightly creeping away from him. He's just in front of this group. So Rick wants to get through these guys, if he can, as quickly as possible. But that's easier said than done. Oh, slight mistake there by Naku, but he gets it pointing in the right direction. But Binnersley, good exit here from the turn. He gets past Kochurek. Probably, oh, Kochurek having some good top-end speed. Binnersley keeping it on the inside and gets it turned in. Slight tap there by Kochurek, still in the back of him, but Binnersley gets through and he's in P24 right now. Meanwhile, Fillingham in a heated battle with Robert Horvat. It's Fillingham on the left, no, on the right, sorry, Horvat on the left, and Horvat will have the inside line now for turn 3. Can he keep that position? Looks like he will. So Fillingham dropping back a position, and Jim Britton, yeah, he was right on the tail of Horvat. Jim Britton dropped back to P17 now. So they had a bit of an incident probably. Horvat taking the position from Fillingham, but still P7 in this short race. Look at this double right-hander. This is really a corner you need to commit to, and where you can gain and lose a lot of time. The rest of the top 10 looking very well behaved. Who's in P10? It's Nuno Miguel Abreu. He's at the back of this group. He's following Ralph Arella and Sergio Racuya. And he has a 3.5 second gap to Jack Camaletto, whose stream we linked in the description or in the chat here. So if you want to have a look at that, go ahead. Miguel Abreu takes a very wide line. Maybe that opens up the corner for him to get a good exit. He does have a good exit, but Arella and Racuya do so as well. And meanwhile, Jack Camaletto is just in front of a group with Albertini, Glavac, Korhonen and Mol. As you can see there, also very, very close pack there, and Jack Camaletto, he wants to just stay ahead of these guys, don't get entangled with them. P11 is a good position to be in if anyone makes a mistake there in the top 10. But battles up and down the field, as I said. Jim Britton, he's now mixed up in this battle with Barker, Nazakawa, Oliveira that we just saw, so he will be another factor there. He should be quicker, but getting past is always very tough. The field is very evenly spread in terms of lap times. Oh, a bit of a touch there between Barker and Britton, and Barker stays in front. So Britton has to wait. Gets a better exit out of turn 3, but no way past there. No good line to take there to get past. As this battle here with Racuya, Arella and Abreu in the top 10. This is what Jack Camiletto behind wants to see. He has gained about 1 second in the last lap over these three guys because they are squabbling. As Abreu now gets momentarily in front of Arella. They stay side by side. I think Abreu will take that position, although Arella will be on the inside for the S's here. So they keep their line, and yes, they do. So Arella keeps the position, but this has allowed Jack Camiletto and the whole group behind him to close up on these guys. And we have a back marker, looks like Thiago Matos on the back straight, letting these faster guys through. So he's in P29 at the moment and losing the lap, unfortunately. So I'm suspecting he has been in the pits. And here as well, Simeon Naku battling it out with Rick Binnersley. He's made his way up to P23. Naku up the inside. Bit of a touch there between the two. Bumping side by side, but Naku takes P23 from Binnersley. Binnersley back at the back of this group here, but of course he will not let that happen just like that. He has 6 minutes left to potentially gain 6-7 positions if he's on the pace and a bit lucky. So anything still to play for. Meanwhile, Stoffmehl and Mukonin have checked out. You have them here. The gap between them is 2 seconds, so no big drama happening there. David Dorre is about 7 seconds behind, but he has Metcalf and Lukas breathing down his neck for a top 3 position. So that will be something to watch out for in the dying stages of this first race. And meanwhile, the gap as Glavac, he's at the front of this group. As Corjon and Albertini Mol behind. But as I was saying, Camiletto, that gap to Abreu opened back up to 3 seconds. So the guys in front, Rakuya, Arella and Abreu, now battling a bit less hard and picking up the pace, it seems. Although battling less hard, here we are riding with Rakuya, who gets on the grass. This gives Arella the opportunity to get alongside, but he's on the outside for the last turn. Let's see if Arella can stick it around the outside. Will he give it a try? Turns in, small bump on Rakuya, which sends Arella just a bit wide, and he will have to slot back in behind. This has given Abreu potential opportunity to get past Arella if he doesn't defend the inside line. He's not defending, goes for the inside himself now to maybe upset Rakuya, which he does. Rakuya misses his braking point, goes a bit too wide and loses the position to Arella, who goes very, very wide through turn 2, but he has the position. And Rakuya and Abreu are now right behind Thiago Matos in the turquoise Audi. He is a lapped car. This battle here, Barker, Nazakawa, Oliveira, Kotsurek, still raging on. So if any of these guys have a stream or a video after the race, I'm sure that will be worth the watch. So keep your eyes peeled for that, of course. Vlastimir Lukas, right behind Greg Metcalf. So the battle for that top 3 far from over, as the tires will start to wear off here at the end of this race. Oh, Metcalf goes very, very wide. but doesn't seem like he's losing heaps of time. Meanwhile, Glavac got past Jack Camaletto, so P11 for Janko Glavac. Now, can he get close to Nuno Miguel Abreu in the next 2 laps? That's, I think, what we still have on our plate. 2 laps till the end of this race, and P10 is where you want to be, or P9. Abreu goes for the inside line on Rakuya, and he outside line, sorry, almost gets the job done, but he was too wide there. As Smedegaard drops down to P17, and Lukáš not giving up on that P4 of Greg Metcalf. Look at how close this is. Riding on board with Vlastimir Lukáš, we have Greg Metcalf on the right in the Audi. Hard braking. And going very, very wide. Oh! Almost a touch there between the two. This is turn 4, the left-right combination. But David Dore having to use every trick in the book to defend from Greg Metcalf. Puts himself on the outside. Now, if he's not careful, he might lose out to Lukáš here. Lukáš on the inside. Dore goes too wide. I think Dore will lose 2 positions. Yes, he does. And Greg Metcalf gets into the top 3. Can Vlastimir Lukáš do something here into the hairpin? Brakes, turns in. Gives Greg a little nudge. And this has allowed Robert Horvat to close right back up to these 3 guys battling. So we will have 1 more lap after this one. And at the moment it's Greg Metcalf taking P3. Just needs to defend the inside line here through this turn and now get a good exit onto the back straight. Seems like he has done that. Still battles up and down the field. Abreu is still battling it out with Rakuya, Smedegaard, Korhonen, all in a heated battle. So looking forward to the feature race. First, we have this one to look out for. So can Greg Metcalf keep P3, or does he need to concede position to Lukáš, Dore, Horvat, whoever of these 3 guys behind him? He's not being challenged into turn 1. As I say that, looked like he just left the braking for a bit too late, but in the end got it turned in correctly. This track has a very nice flow to it, as you can see. We've not had real time to focus on the AM Cup here in this race, but at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, it's Albertini who will win this race, and Nigel Wood will take P2, which probably means that Nigel Wood will seal the deal on the Drivers' Championship in the AM Cup, as Metcalf now pulling away from Lukáš. Let's have a quick look here in the top 15 positions. Oh, as Abreu goes side by side with Rakuya. Abreu really wants to take P9. He doesn't want pole for a race 2. He wants that position. That's how the racing should be done. No strategy, just take all the positions that you can get. But Janko Glavac is only 1 second behind, and if these guys keep bumping into each other, that could cause some serious problems and leave the door wide open for Janko Glavac. Around the outside, very tough, it's a small bump, and now onto the back straight. Let's have a quick look. Stoffmail across the line, Mukonin across the line, so P1 and 2. Then Greg Metcalf, will he take P3? We'll have to get confirmation on the end, but it will be almost equal across the line with Vlastimir Lucas. David Dore, Robert Horvat will take the position. Abreu, he is in 9th spot. Rakuya dropped back to 11th spot, it seems, or has slowed down in any case. Rakuya P10 now showing for me, so we'll have to get confirmation. But look at this, how close that whole field still was at the end of this race. Battles up and down the field, and a great finish. Looking forward to the feature race. 120 kilometers coming up right now. Let's have a quick wait for the final standings of this race as everybody makes their way across the line. Paolo Corbellari, and it's Paolo Corbellari who still needs to finish his lap to make it to the end of this race and get confirmation of the final standings. What a race this has been, and it's far from over. So what happened at the bottom end of that top 10? Everybody now on their outlap. And the battle in that top 10 for race 2 will be very, very hard fought. Let's hope for no incidents in the first laps, so everybody can defend their positions cleanly and fairly. So here are the final standings. Mike Stoffmail takes the win and the fastest lap. Mukkonen Metcalf, it is for the top 3, and only a couple of thousands of seconds for Lukas to get that top 3 position from him. And unfortunately I missed who was in P10, but we will see that when the cars hit the grid in just under 50 seconds. So we'll be right with you live for the feature race from the Sepang International Circuit. So 5 seconds to go for the green light. Everybody grids up, and it's Rakuya from Miguel Abreu on the front row. The lights are on, 46 minutes on the clock, and off we go. Rakuya gets a good start. A lot less spread than in the first race. Arella makes his way up into P2 already after that start. He's on the inside for turn 1. Gets the braking done correctly, and he will take P2. Oh, no. Abreu is able to defend through turn 2, so Arella now on the inside for the braking zone into turn 3. Surely that has to be P2 for Ralph Arella. Still side by side. Now it's a left-right combination, so Abreu might have the advantage here. Yeah, now it's single file through the left-right chicane, so Abreu had to fight for it, but he keeps P2 for now. Fillingham, he is in P4 at the moment. Lukáš Horvat, P5, P6. Pavel Mukonin made his way up into P7, while Mike Stoffmehl dropped back to P11. He's right in the thick of it, as everybody has made their way through the first turns cleanly. Here's the whole field. Side-by-side action here for the braking zone. And through the S's and onto the back straight in just a second. Oh, we have Abreu off the track and dropped back to P9, so that is Arella in the end in P2 for the end of lap 1. Here is the whole grid as that's Dore, or yeah, that's Dore going across the track. So it's Rakuya from Arella from Fillingham. Yeah, indeed, who has Lukáš and Mukonin behind. So side-by-side action here as well. Abreu, Dore, Glavac. Abreu in the Honda defending the inside line. And Mukonin battling it out with Vlastimir Lukáš. Lukáš, after a small tap, gets out in front. And it's Robert Horvat right behind him. Nuno Miguel Abreu back up into P7 already, so he could take the advantage. And Janko Glavac battling it out with Mike Stoffmehl here in the background. Stoffmehl up into P8 position. So all those battles from P2 down mean Sergio Rakuya has a bit of a gap. You see it there on the screen. It's almost a 2-second gap, so not bad for him. The only gaps bigger than 1 second are between positions 1 and 2 and between positions 28 and 29. So that's how close this field is when it's a clean first lap. And this will give us plenty of action throughout the next 42 minutes and 7 seconds. Oh, as we just catch, yeah, that's Albertini having a spin. He's stationary on the track. Everybody can avoid him, it seems. Yes, they can. Very wise decision to stay where he is. And now he gets going once again in P29. Unfortunate, but nothing is lost at the moment. Stoffmehl on the outside of Abreu for P7. P7. Stoffmehl takes the position. So he's moving up. And Ralpharella closed that gap to Rakuya right back down to under 1 second. As Glavac has a look on the inside of Abreu, and he gets the job almost done into turn 1, but then comes turn 2. That's the tricky part here in that first section of Sepang. Abreu keeps the position for now. And meanwhile, here's the battle for P3. Lukas versus Simon Fillingham. Pavel Mukonin behind. He is ready to get going. He's ready to pass. Now here's this double right-hander. Very tough. Flick it in. And then on the power as early as you can. And hope that you stay within the track boundaries, which Lukas does. Has a look on the inside, or maybe that was a defensive move against Mukonin, who's right on his tail. Look at this, Mukonin almost pushing Vlastimil ahead, showing his nose on the inside line, but not making the move stick at the moment. Mukonin has Horvat and then Stoffmail right behind. This difficult braking zone. Getting it turned in here is super important to get on the power as early as you can. This is the view for Nuno Miguel Abreu in 8th position. Danko Glavac really wants to get that position from him, as everything starts to settle down just a little bit here in the final race of the WTCR Championship at RRLeagues.com. This is the season finale, so that means that very soon we will be announcing our new championships, so stay tuned for that. If you are into some race room racing experience, league racing, follow us on social media and on our website. You will have a chance to get driving with us in these very nice big grids with good quality drivers. It's not the evening of Jim Britton and Magnus Smedegaard. It seems they're down again in 18th and 19th. We would expect them in the top 10 normally, but drop down now. Of course, gaps are not that big. They're only 12 seconds off the leader, so anything still possible. It's a long race with a pit stop coming up in the middle of the race, approximately. So anything still up for grabs. Fillingham now up the inside of Mukonin, and the Fillingham is defending from Lukas and Mukonin. That battle is still raging on. Lukas still stays in front for now. Look at this. The battle there behind. Mukonin almost around the outside of Horvat. And Stoffmail right there to take advantage of that. Look at this. Right on the gearbox of Mukonin. Stoffmail has a look on the inside. Will they make it 3 wide? Mukonin moves to the inside as well. This could end in tears. Oh, luckily no one gets spun around there. Stoffmail loses out a bit. And meanwhile, sorry we missed that, but Fillingham in the foreground on the inside line for turn 1. Gets into P2 momentarily if he can get it stopped, and Arella doesn't stick around the outside. No, he doesn't. So Simon Fillingham up into P2 in the final race of this season. And look at how close this pack is here. As Lukas might be cause for another position loss for Raffaella. No, yeah, slots back in between. Pavel Mukonin has dropped down, so that battle with Lukáš cost him some positions. He's now behind Mike Stoffmehl, who's up into P6. Our whole top 10 still covered by about 5 seconds. So P11 actually 6 seconds behind David Dore. Then a bit of a gap to Jack Camaletto. So it's Rakuya from Fillingham, from Arella is our top 3. Oh, as Horvat goes wide, loses the position to Mukonin and Glavac. Yeah, Horvat just going wide there in the hairpin, not even a big mistake, and immediately losing 2 positions. Now, can Fillingham get close to Rakuya? His best lap time suggests he can. He's about 4/10 quicker, ideally, but on the last lap he lost 2/10. So, eyes forward for Fillingham to try and catch Rakuya for the win. Stoffmehl up into P5 now, and he's looking on the inside line. Takes 2 positions. Stoffmehl takes 2 positions. Arella and Lukáš both caught napping, and Stoffmehl now up into P3. So in about 10 minutes made his way from P11 to P3 in a clean way, as we have side-by-side action here. Mukonin trying to go up the inside. Oh, a lot of door banging there. A real touring car racing. Luckily everybody can stay on the track here. It's still Lukáš and Mukonin. This could end in tears if they keep racing this hard. At the moment Mukonin is ahead. Glavac going a bit wide. That gives Abreu the opportunity to get past, and he does. So Dore, he's all the way at the back of this group. Here you can see the whole field ahead of him. 10 cars and only 6 seconds separate him and the race lead. Going through the hairpin just now. Fillingham and Stoffmehl. Stoffmehl and Fillingham. Stoffmehl up the inside after the hairpin. So Stoffmehl already up into P2. Can he hunt down Rakuya quickly? Can anyone put a stop on Mike Stoffmehl's winning streak here in this WTCR championship? We're looking at David Dore's perspective here, as the battle at the front will take just a little while to heat up again, I think. Stoffmehl quicker than Fillingham. It's Abreu, Glavac side by side in front, and Greg Metcalf in P10 just waiting for the mistake. Let's go on board with Metcalf. Here he is. So Glavac in front of Abreu. What will Metcalf do? Will he have a look at the inside of Abreu? Yes, he does. Keeps it very, very tight. Needs to leave the door open, yeah, for Abreu. He might get a better exit here. Not really. Meanwhile, Pavel Mukonin, he's back in P5, so going up and down the grid very, very quickly, Pavel. And Stoffmehl now already only 3/10 behind Rakuya. Let's have a look at the defensive driving by Rakuya. How long can he keep Stoffmehl behind? That will be the question. The gap to filling him behind is already 2 seconds. So can Stoffmehl make quick work of Rakuya? I think he can, if Rakuya leaves the door open like that. Nope, he stays, sticks it around the outside. So good defending from him so far. Needs to hold on to this race lead with everything he has, in my opinion. Needs to keep a tight line here to get, don't leave himself open. Decent line by both drivers. Now it should be quite straightforward to defend the inside line for Rakuya and probably not lose out into turn 1, but that's easier said than done, of course. Wide line for Stoffmehl. Oh, and he has so much grip there coming out of the last turn. And this, of course, if you can go around the outside of the last turn, that's ideal. You have the perfect positioning for turn 1. So this will be lead change, and Mike Stoffmehl, oh, as I say that, Rakuya not giving up, but Mike Stoffmehl turns it into turn 2, and he has the lead of this feature race here at Sepang, the season finale of our WTCR championship. So can Mike Stoffmehl extend that gap quickly and have a half an hour Sunday drive to win another race here in this championship, or will we see some drama? Now, if we look back, drama has not stopped yet. Looking back from Pavel Mukonin, we have Arella, we have Lukas, we have Horvat, Glavac, Abreu, Metcalf, and Dore, all very, very, very close. This will be a better perspective. The battle for the top 5 positions at the moment. The inside here into the hairpin. Arella stays wide and keeps the position. As we have to look forward as well, Mukonin close the gap down to Simon Fillingham. Can he do something to get close to Mike Stoffmehl? Then he needs to dispatch of Fillingham and Rakuya as quickly as he can. But he was not in a good position, or he was in the perfect position to challenge Stoffmehl in the first race and couldn't really do so. So we'll have to see if anything has changed. Stoffmehl already a couple of seconds up the road, and it's so difficult to make up a lot of time in these cars. They're so evenly matched. Times are so very close. Really harassing that gearbox, as Fillingham is now able to catch Rakuya. So when he was in the lead, couldn't really close down the gap due to Mike Stoffmehl on his tail, but now Rakuya has to look out for both these drivers, and this could well play in the hands of Vlastimir Lukas. He is a bit further back now, but these 3 guys battling. Could see him close right up with Arella, Horvat, Glavac, Abreu, Metcalf, Dore right on his tail. A bit wide there from Rakuya and a bit tight from Fillingham. Side by side, around the outside. Can Mukonin go around the outside? No, he doesn't. But we'll have to have a look at this from the onboard or from the TV cameras. Mukonin squirming on the brakes. Fillingham didn't even leave the door open, but Mukonin gets through anyway. So a very ballsy move there on the brakes. requiring a lot of cooperation from Fillingham, but he does lose the position. Now, outside of the top 3, nothing is lost because Rakuya is right there in front. And saying that, the gap at the front is already almost 5 seconds. So Stoffmill really putting those blistering lap times in once again. As you see, our top 11 still covered by 8 seconds. And if you discard the 4 seconds lead of Stoffmill, that's 4 seconds separating 10 cars. Incredible racing here. Oh, as Fillingham gets the braking wrong, I think. And goes into the side of Rakuya, that must have been, and that immediately puts Mukonin, as we can see here, at the front of this pack. So Mukonin up into P2, Lukáš P3, and Fillingham rejoins in P4, whereas Rakuya is dropping down. Oh, he's coming into the pits, so that might have been the issue. Rakuya going into the pits. I might have seen that wrong. Rakuya just broke a bit later and went straight into Fillingham. Not sure what I have seen now, but anyway, Rakuya and Horvat into the pits with 25 minutes left on the clock. Fillingham, oh, his car is broken. He's in the gravel. Can he get it out? So drama at the front in that top 11. Simon Fillingham losing heaps of time there. He had a potential podium finish in his hands, but sim racing can be very, very harsh. I don't think Fillingham will be able to get out of that anytime soon. Oh, yes he does. There he is, rejoining the track in P23, right ahead of Corbellari and Rakuya as well. So is he waiting for Rakuya? Rakuya, of course, he's been in the pits. But I think Fillingham has a puncture. Yeah. Anyway, we'll have to see where he ends up. So that closes that battle just a tiny bit. That means our top 11 becomes a top 8. And this is the closest battle. Greg Metcalf defending from Glavac, Abreu and Dore. Gap at the front 7 seconds now again between Stoffmill and Mukonin. So our top 2 from race 1 again in the first 2 positions for the feature race. Mukonin, yeah, he's coming into the pits. Stoffmill as well. Lukáš keeps going. So Lukáš from the top 3 keeps going. Stoffmill is in. Greg Metcalf keeps going as well. David Dore keeps going as well. So can we spot any mistakes for our Drivers' Champion and race leader Mike Stoffmill, or is it once again a flawless pit stop? A lot of cars coming in now. Stoffmill gets going again. Arella also out of the pits, and Mukonin as well, so that gap has stayed roughly the same, about 6 seconds now between Rakuya and Stoffmill, so no big changes there. A bit of time gained by Rakuya, so who knows, who knows. So that has broken up that battle inside our top 10, but that will come right back, I think, when I'm expecting Lukáš, Metcalf, Dore to come in this lap. There's no real point in staying out except for losing some time. So these guys will be coming in on this lap. I'm quite sure of that. Horvat. He's right behind Mukkonen. So that is for the actual podium positions. Horvat has been in the pits as well. Arella is right behind him. So these top 3 guys might be slotting in right into this battle. We'll have to see about that. As expected, Lukas coming in, Metcalf coming in, and Dora as well coming in. Korhonen in the blue Lincoln Co. He keeps going. His teammate is in the pits. So Vlastimir Lukas, he was the first of the guys in. Let's go on board. Stoffmail will not see these guys rejoining anytime soon, but Rakuja, Mukkonen, Horvat, they might. So Horvat now on main straight, and Lukas, Metcalf, Dore, they are off the jacks coming out of the pits now, I'm guessing. Yeah, so that's Metcalf into turn 1, getting out just behind Ralph Arella. So what has this meant? Korhonen is still out, but we have Stoffmail 7 seconds in front of Mukkonen. Then we have Rakuja, Horvat, Lukas, Arella, and Metcalf trailing Abreu and Glavac and Dore. So our top 11 once again still very, very close. About 13 seconds with 20 minutes left on the clock. Will Tom Korhonen come in at the end of this lap? I'm guessing he will. But I've made some mistakes at the Macau race. I did miss some strategy calls. So we'll have to see. He did not pit yet. That's for sure. He would not be that much in front if he did. So Horvat versus Rakuja. Mukkonen has finally gotten a gap between him and Vlastimir Lukas. There's now a couple of drivers between them, but they had some heated battles in that first stint of the race. That is for sure. Korhonen now coming into the pits, so we'll have to see where he slots back in. But that was probably well outside of the top 10. There's Jim Britton, 14th position, Smedegaard 12th position, so he will come out roughly around those positions, I'm guessing. As we have this 3-way battle, Lukas, Rakuja, Horvat, and Lukas takes the position, takes 2 positions even, and as I said, Mukkonen has made a gap between him and Lukas. Lukas is right back behind him as Horvat trying to destabilize Rakuja, and dives up the inside after a bit of a white line through turn 1, but needs to leave the inside line for turn 2. Still side by side, and now he has to get in behind. From Arella's perspective, that looks like this, and that gives Vlastimir Lukas a bit of a breathing space. No, sorry, Mukkonen some breathing space in front. This 4-way battle here is still very much on, as Korhonen rejoins just in front of Jim Britton, as I expected. Mukkonen and Stoffmail are the fastest cars on the track at the moment. 13.1 for Stoffmail fastest lap, 13.9 for Mukkonen, and all the rest of the field is not in the 13s. So they are clearly the fastest cars on the Sepang International Circuit right now in this race. Closing right back up, RRLeagues. Oh, very late braking, too late I think, by Robert Horvat. That's a bit of a dive bomb there, but he gets through and doesn't really upset Rakuya's car, but that was a very late lunge there by Horvat to take P4 in the Audi. Arella for 77. He's watching this and he doesn't really want to be a part of this. He just wants to get through while these guys trip over each other. But Horvat giving the position back to Rakuya, I feel. Felt that was not a fair move into the last corner. It was certainly on the limit. It's a work of patience, this left-right section. And then a hotspot here for some incidents and side-by-side action. The double right-hander, always a sight to see. And if we look back from Rakuya, we see that Greg Metcalf is also joining the party, together with Abreu, Glavac and Doria. So our top 10, as we see, still covered by 18 seconds. If we discard Stoffmill's 10-second lead behind, that's still 8 seconds separating our P2 to P10 positions. Look at this battle pack. Rakuya, Horvat, Arella, Metcalf, Abreu, Glavac and Dore. This will be a battle to the end of this race, of this championship. As Rakuya goes wide, and he will lose the position. Yeah, loses the position to Horvat at least. Horvat is in front. So the slightest of mistakes, a bit wide on the exit there of the last turn. And a loss of positions for Sergio Rakuya. Bit of a bump there, but now the move is done for... Oh, it's not done. Oh, gets it turned in, but Rakuya was on the inside there, and he had a right to be. Bit of a late lunge from him as well, but that's the nature of those corners. Luckily, everybody stays on the track. Again, very tight, very tidy as well by Rakuya. As they go 3 wide in the background, Glavac, Abreu, Dore. Let's have a look from Dore's perspective, shall we? Side by side. Abreu is on the outside line here. Here he is. So Dore making the pass, going wide, not losing any time there on the gravel. Very fortunate for him. So Abreu now in 10th position. The gap between Mukonin and Lukas hovering around the 2.5 second mark already for about 3 laps. So very evenly matched, those two. Almost too wide on the curb there, but gets it turned in. Now a good exit. Can Abreu make the pass on Dore? 11 minutes still to go in this championship. The Drivers' Championship is decided, the Teams' Championship is decided, the AM Cup Championship has been decided in the previous sprint race as well, I think. That will go to Nigel Wood if no big drama happens. Colin Barker at the moment is at the front of this pack as we have too wide action into turn 1. Late braking by Abreu. And some bumping and grinding between Rakuya and Glavac, Rakuya, Metcalf. Yeah, indeed. Here we are, braking zone for turn 3. Metcalf up the inside. And a bit wide there for Rakuya, who moves to the outside line. But it's single file through here at the moment. Just saying, the AM Cup probably decided in the favor of Nigel Wood. And the Ironman Championship was going between Wood and Binnersley, and they're both still running, so they might have to share that trophy between them. So the gap in the top 5 quite wide, but then from P6 to P10, that's the battle we are watching here. Arella, Glavac, Dore, Abreu, Smedegaard and Rakuya. Rakuya and Metcalf having a bit of an incident there and dropping back, putting Ralph-Arella at the top of this battle. Probably Rakuya and Metcalf should be able to close that gap back down. And we earlier saw a battle between Barker and Korhonen, but my microphone was not active. So Barker momentarily getting in front of him, but then having to concede the position once again as we make our way up to the back straight. And Glavac couldn't be any closer. They might even be bump drafting here on the back straight. Moving to the inside line, Glavac hard braking. Glavac gets the move done. Arella needs to go wide, and he might lose the position to Dore as well. No, Dore has to slot back in behind, but almost left the door wide open for Dore to slip through as well. So Glavac now up into P5. So we see Rakuya and Metcalf hanging back there in the background, battling each other, but about 4 seconds back of this pack here. The gap at the front between Stoffel and Mukkonen now up to 12 seconds. Vlastimir Lucas about 4 seconds behind Mukkonen, so advantage to Mukkonen at the moment. And then it's 8 seconds back to Horvat, 3 to 4 seconds back to Glavac, and that's what we are looking at here. Five minutes left on the clock, so that's should be 3 more laps after this one for our race leader Mike Stoffmail. And still our only retirement here. Oh, as Daniel O'Brien leaving his car in a very odd way in front of the garage. But anyway, 28 drivers still running. Andre Mull currently in last position, but still running in the Hyundai. As Ralph Arella now losing the position to Dore. Yes, he does. Dore getting through and up into P6, and Abreu might be a danger as well into turn 3. As we have a quick look at Nigel Wood and Albertini, that's the AMCA battle, side by side, P20, but still fighting as hard as ever for those positions as well. I think that's Barker Binnersley, that's the battle for P3 in that class, so very important as well. Let's drive on board with Nigel Woods, shall we? He's still right behind Albertini, and they have Nazakawa right in front of them. So entertaining end of the race for these drivers as well, as Nedovili is also battling it out with Thiago Matos for P22. 1 minute left on the clock. Where's Stoffmail finishing off sector 1? So I'm guessing we will have one more lap after this one. Joao Oliveira, meanwhile, challenging Rick Binnersley. Binnersley is in P2 for the AMP Cup class at the moment. Oliveira also a newer driver, but I don't think he's in the AMP Cup class at the moment. Still, Binnersley will have two thoughts. He wants to keep that P2 position in class, but he also doesn't want to lose P15 to Oliveira. As Stoffmail gets across the line for the last lap of this race, the last lap of this event, and the last lap of this WTCR Championship hosted by RRLeagues.com. A very dominant performance by Mike Stoffmail, I must say, coming in for round 2, if I'm not mistaken, so missed round 1. But lucky we have a dropped round system where your worst round, and that can also be a did not start, is not counted to account for holidays or technical difficulties, etc. To give everybody a good chance of fighting for the championship. And coming in round 2, and top-notch performances by him throughout, surpassing Janko Glavac in, I think, round 5 of the championship, and never letting off the throttle in this case. So very dominant performances by him, and a worthy champion here in this WTCR championship. Still all very, very close in this case, but we'll follow Mike Stoffmail around for these final few seconds of this race for him. He has a 13-second gap to Pavel Mukonin, so no danger in sight for him. And onto the back straight, our driver champion, finishing off the season with 2 wins here at Sepang. Many congratulations to him. We will have Pavel Mukonin taking the second step off the podium, and Vlastimir Lukas taking the third step. So good performances by those 2 drivers as well. Mukonin, not really a regular, but won a race at Ningbo. So Stoffmail finishes the race. It will be Horvat for P4 position, and then we have Dorge behind in P5. Arella will not challenge him into the last turn, so Arella in P6. Abreu under 1 second, but he will take P7. And then we have Magnus Smedegaard at the back of this pack, ending off the season with a P8 position here at Sepang. Craig Metcalf P8. Tom Korhonen will finish in P10. Then Jim Britton defending from Colin Barker still, and Jim taking P11, Colin P12. Joao Oliveira in the end got in front of Binnersley, and they also gained a position, it seems. So P13, P14 for them. Jack Camiletto in P15. Sergio Racoya will finish in P16, so was well inside the top 10 for quite a while, but then dropped back in the final stages of the race. Nigel Wood will finish in P17 and third in class. Nazakawa, Albertini, Kochurek across the line as well. Nedovili and Thiago Matos, they are still very, very close. Simeon Naku in right behind there as well, and Wesley Brook now on the front stretch as well, and bringing the car home in 24th. Simon Fillingham, we saw him off the track, but he kept going, and he will finish in P25 here for this race, 1 lap down. So that means that we have Mike Stoffmail as our driver's champion. We have de België and de Hollander, Mike Stoffmail and Christopher Strepe as our team's champions. We have Nigel Wood as our AM Cup driver's champion, and we have Nigel Wood and Rick Binnersley as a shared Ironman champions for this season of WTCR at RRLeagues.com. It was a pleasure to be commentating on these races. A lot of good battles, fair battles, a lot of drama, and a lot of good drivers here in this season. So very well done by all of the drivers competing in these races. We hope to see you back very, very soon. And as I said, finishing off one season means that a new one is around the corner. So keep your eyes peeled on social media, on our website, etc., for new season announcements very soon with some race room racing experience content. All that's left for me then today is to wish you a good evening. As everybody says, stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy the sim racing content coming at you at 100 miles an hour every day in the last few weeks. But don't forget rrleagues.com. Come join us for some good racing, and we will see if we will see each other again in a couple of weeks for other streams of the new championships. That's it for me. Many thanks for watching, and if you like the stream, give it a like. If you really like the championships we offer here and the channel, then you can hit that subscribe button and you will be notified of any future videos or streams that we put on. So have a good night and see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.